When you cannot contain a problem or manage it, you have what's called intervention. And intervention can come in many different ways. You can have a family intervention, a personal friend who tries to intervene, someone who loves you first, tries to get a hold of you, contact you, try to reason with you. Or you don't want to listen to mom and dad. You don't want to listen to grandma and grandpa. You don't want to listen to your uncle. Okay, 911, call the cops. Well, you call the cops. Parents call the cops on their children. A different kind of intervention. It's not as positive. That's someone who's not tied to you personally, someone who's not emotionally, intimately involved with you, someone who just knows you're breaking a law and you must be beaten, handcuffed, tased, maybe even shot. And there are cops that come and they shoot the wife, the husband, the kids, because someone in the house is being threatened by a family member. The cops are not tied to you. They're just tied to the law and the action. And anything necessary to stop the action they will do, including shooting and killing you. Whereas a family member is more inclined to put up with something over and over again. Not a police officer. 1 or 2 or 3 shouts at you and that's it. After that, you're going down, either by a taser, a baton, or a gun, or physical interaction. So many times in life, when you look at spirituality, you can see God goes, first I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to try to tell you, oh, you don't want to listen to me? I'm going to send a messenger. You don't want to listen to the messenger? And that could be simultaneous with listening to him. He sends mostly through a messenger. You don't want to listen to the messenger I sent? Well, I guess we got to bring in the cop. And good cop, bad cop. Sometimes it's being scared straight, where the cop employs the services of a criminal that owes him or works for him. He's a plant in the street. He's someone that's working for the cop undercover, an informant. Hey, scare this kid. I'm trying to get my nephew's life right. I can do it. Yeah, it'll be good for you. I'll cut your time. It'll look good if you're working with the police. All right, I'll do it. So they take him to jail and get the kid in the jail to try to scare him to walk right. Well, Muslims are that way. They're like God's kind of bad cop, kind of the thug on the street that's used to scare you straight into following. Why? Well, the intervention hasn't worked. You have a friend who's willing to pray with you, talk with you, counsel you. You don't like that. So God has to send in the bad cop. You don't want to learn that way? You'll learn this way. 70 years into exile. Oh, you want to be like the other nations? I'm going to let that cancer take you. I'm going to let that liver get cirrhosis. I'm going to let that brain get toxic. Scripture says he'll turn you over to it. He'll turn you over to the lie, to the delusion. You don't really want me? You really want that? Okay, go ahead, have it. Here are the consequences. You see that over there? Eat that and you'll die. Smoke that and you'll die. Drink that and you'll die. Sleep with that person and you'll die. There you go. Here are the consequences. He doesn't stop you from that. He just warns you about it. So anybody saying, you're trying to force me. Nobody's trying to force you. They're just telling you. Your choice is yours. The Surgeon General doesn't tell you to buy the cigarettes. He just puts a warning on the packet. The Transportation Department doesn't stop you from going over that bridge that's collapsed. It just says, bridge out. You can keep going if you like. Here are the consequences. The cop doesn't keep you from speeding. He's just there to catch you when you do. Give you your ticket. Take you to jail when you're driving drunk. Can't stop you from driving drunk. And so when you look at Islam and you look at the world, When God brings up and raises up a king, a Pharaoh or Nebuchadnezzar, Cyrus of Persia, go. My kids are gone crazy. I want you to scare them. Go and take them. Destroy the land. Got to wake them up. They're not listening. What's wrong? I try to talk to them, doctor. They don't pay attention. They don't listen. Well, there's a detention center. There's an insane asylum. There is a military academy we can send them off to. There's a work camp we can put them in Colorado. All right? Trying to do something to intervene, to get them to walk right, to think right, to be right. And apparently making you dinner and talking to you and having good conversations with you and even incentivizing you with a blessing doesn't work. He's just going to have to learn the hard way or not learn at all. That hard way may end up killing you. You don't always turn when you get the rebuke. It has the potential of turning you, but it doesn't mean you will. And when you look at the culture in America today, you see feminism, liberalism. This is what happens when you go against God's order. God made the man the head of the family. Sorry, ladies. God made the man the head of the family. And historically, when a man is the head of his family, family works just fine. But somehow or another, since the fall in the garden, you want to upset the order. They always talk about that in conspiracy theories, upsetting the order. The New World Order. Well, the New World Order started in the Garden of Eden when Eve upset God's order. She decided she wanted a little more. Somebody whispered in her ear, and she engaged, as most women do, with the ethereal, esoteric mysticism. It all started because you ladies had the first ear to the serpent's tongue, not Adam, you, who were taken from his side. And then you used that luring, that position you had as his other part to lure him into what you were indoctrinated to by the devil's tongue. Here, take a bite. You didn't speak for God, you spoke for the enemy. Did you say to Adam, honey, we can't do that. That's against God's word. I should never have offered it to you. In fact, I should have never even let that serpent speak to me. That's why a lot of women end up speaking to each other in the wrong tongue. Girls' night out. Talking about the man, subverting, seeing how you can manipulate him, control him, and destroy him. You plan it with your daughters. You plan it in the office. I had a woman say once in the office where I work, we wear high heels, stilettos, because it gives us authority over you. Isn't that interesting? The frequency of a sin walk, it gives us authority over you. And they're always using vanity, which is why they have to constantly be in front of a mirror and makeup to lure you. It's a power move because technically they feel powerless or less powerful than a man. And therefore they use their feminine wiles and their satanic wiles to trick, to lure, to tilt, to tease, to tip your head, to tip you over. And you take the fruit because it's being handed to you by Eve. And then God raises up nations to rebuke you. It started with the fertility gods, and the fertility gods are goddesses, hence fertility. Those little, small, figurine, ancient, antiquitous statues of the pagan world, the pregnant little statue you rub to have a baby, the things you mother, earth, not father, creator. And you've fallen into it, and now you see what's happened since the women's suffrage movement. First, women had to make themselves a victim. And you see throughout society, whether it's communism or Black Lives Matter, not the civil rights movement, that wasn't a victim movement. If you look at that one, that wasn't a victim movement. All these modern black movements are victim movements. The civil rights movement was very classy. Nobody was making themselves a victim. They were simply combating evil, period. And not evil at the expense of demeaning the white man. The civil rights movement wasn't about demeaning white people. But you see what women do. And it's the demeaning of the man in order to secure his power. Make him the fall guy. He's evil. It's because of him. And addicts do it. Always blame somebody else for the problem and make themselves victims. They have to stay in a constant mindset of victimhood. And you see it in the Congress. You see it all over the world with the feminist movement. We're victims. We're victims. You are the evil one. No, no. You are being manipulated by the evil one. And now you have all of this individualistic women's movement that started in the 40s, really took off in the 60s with what they call sexual liberty. Isn't that interesting? They wanted to be whores. How dare you make me into just a mother? I can be a whore. I can work like you. I can have sex like you. I can be all over the place. How dare you chain me? And you saw the destruction of the family with white women and with black women not needing the man in the home because the government got the black male out of the home and penalized the man. When the war started and the women went to work, they got a little taste of that power, not to support the home, but the power to be independent. I don't need you. I can make money. I can make more than you, and I can sleep around. And they do. And then they came into the Congress and the Senate, and then into companies. The DEI was not started by MAN. It was WOMAN, because woe is me as a woman. And it destroys a man. Transgenderism, women love that. Why? It destroys a man's power, makes him less than a man, gets her power. Women love to hang out with drag queens and transgender men, and they love it. They giggle, they laugh, because they feel like the man. The tables are turned. I'll get an effeminate man, a man who whispers, a man who doesn't use his power, his voice when he talks, not his abuse, doesn't know how to speak firm and stern. And then the mothers start over-mothering their children. Another thing that women do, if they can't sleep with you, they'll mother you. They'll destroy your power because they want authority over you. You're a male. I can be over a man. And the women do that with the children. Then they destroy the children, and you allow it to happen, especially you fathers. You psychologically allowed your wives to transgender your sons. And now you're in a society, DEI and ACI and LGBTQ, they can't even know. They have no idea. The logic is so illogic and irrational, and it's built on emotional, because I just want to feel good. It is not about being good. You see, women that are not under God's authority, while it starts with a godly man having authority over her, she will go awry, just like children will go awry. And so, call in the bad cop. Who doesn't allow that? Islam. All of the Western white people, that's your world. It wasn't started by the blacks. It was started by the white. The blacks emulate the whites. Well, everybody emulates the white people because they have most of the power and the glory and the biggest megaphone and platform. Therefore, everybody wants to be like them. And so you see what the white man does, and you want to be like him. You see what the white women do, you want to be. A lot of the black women start acting like white people. A lot of the black men start acting like the white man. They stop caring about the tribalism of their family. And what happened to the white man who used to be strong? The white man used to be very, 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 very strong. Then they gave over to the goddess culture, and their women took over. White, liberal, serpentine women. With their psychics and their mysticism, they bring in all of the Buddha statues and all of the yoga, and you've indoctrinated and feminized your society and destroyed your men. And now you are a collapsed society fighting the struggle because you abdicated your authority and gave it over. And nothing abdicates the authority more than drugs and alcohol. Sensation. I just want to feel good. I just want to have fun. I don't care what you do, honey, just as long as you're happy. Men don't say that. Women do. Purpose is destroyed. Mission is destroyed. Nobility is destroyed. Accountability, responsibility is destroyed. And you've allowed it. And so here comes the Muslim. God's whipping stick. Nobody likes it, but they don't put up with LGBTQ and transgender, and they don't put up with women taking authority over their men. And why would they? They can see the result of what happens when you let that happen. So Muslims go into white countries and they say, they're going to subvert it, destroy it. They're on a mission, even unconscious to them, because everybody is a pawn on the chessboard being played by God. And now you see what's happening. Because you used to be nicely dressed and respectably dressed, but you want to be a whore, tatted up like you got out of prison. Our mothers, our daughters, our sisters. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter who I sleep with. It doesn't matter how I cut or mutilate my body. Mutilation. Ancient culture, paganism. And you've all allowed it. And now you're wondering why the rise of Islam. All planned by God. Didn't want to listen to the parent. Didn't want to listen to the preacher. Okay, perhaps you'll listen to the bad cop. Because this is God's world. He created it. And he did not create it for drag queen hour and transgenderism. He didn't create it for you to be inundated with every time you have a problem, run to a bottle. While you have children and wives and families, husbands and wives. So judgment on you. Since you can't control yourself, since you can't listen to the good intervention I send you, here comes the bad cop.